So I've mentioned before that I'm a huge fan of poetry. I love poetry. And one of the things that I love about poetry is how, in such a compact piece of literature, you can be transformed, your perspective transformed, you can relate, you can feel comforted, you can feel emotion. Right now, I've been making a concerted effort to really celebrate black authors. And when it comes to poetry, if you talk about black poets, there's a few names that should pop to mind right away. Langston Hughes is probably everyone's number one thought of black poet. And I think one of the most frequently, maybe number two, right behind Langston Hughes, thought of is Gwendolyn Brooks. So the book I want to talk to you about today is Selected Poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. If you've never read anything by her, I think on my regular page, not on my Rudie Librarian page, I've posted, there's a poem in here called The Ballad of Emmett Till, the last quatrain of the Battle of Emmett Till, the Ballad of Emmett Till, excuse me, that is very, very powerful, and it speaks to the loss of a young black woman who's lost her child. And another poem that's so well known in here is, I believe the name of it is We Cool, or We Real Cool. Let me get the name exactly so I don't mess it up. Yeah, We Real Cool. Um, so one of the things that she does so well is she highlights um, both the challenges, pain, loss, hurt, anger, frustration, and repetitiveness of the loss of black lives, but also the beauty of black families and black life and the joy and all those emotions as well. Um, for me, if I'm gonna pick up black poetry, authors or poetry by black authors, I love to read Langston Hughes, and Gwendolyn Brooks is another that I have to make sure that I read. This particular volume of Gwendolyn Brooks is such a gift. First, if you don't know, Gwendolyn Brooks, by the way, won the Pulitzer Prize, which is amazing. She was the second poet laureate in her state, right behind Carl Sandburg. She wrote books including A Street in Bronzeville, which there's actually like a children's book edition of that. So if you wanted to read some great black poetry to your children, Annie Allen, The Bean Eaters, Maud Martha, and In the Mecca. This particular volume, one of the things I love about it is it has in the back a little biography of Gwendolyn Brooks to tell you a little bit about her. And then, as you get a little bit further in, there is a section by Nikki Giovanni, another amazing black poet, where it's remembering Gwen. And then I know the light's kind of playing tricks on me here. And then if you get even a little bit further in, there's an interview with her where Studs Terkel is interviewing her in 1961 and talking about her poetry. Guys, genuinely, I mean, right here on the front cover it says, possibly the finest black poet of the post-Harlem generation. Any poetry collection is not complete without Gwendolyn Brooks. And if you want to understand black lives a little bit better, you also need to be reading some Gwendolyn Brooks. So I cannot recommend enough Selected Poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. Not even a very expensive volume. I really encourage you to pick it up.